Hi again. Over the last 8 episodes, we've been using Flash Catalyst to build a wireframe, take those wireframes to build multiple page wireframes, build transitions, add interactions, and then take those wireframe designs into the Adobe Creative Suite 5 design tools, and then create a full fidelity design. Now our project is finished, but the last part that we have to go through is how we actually optimize and publish our project for others to look at. Inside of Flash Catalyst, I have the finished version of our project. Let's take a look at it real fast. So as you see, I have my welcome, eat, watch, and my watch full states. The watch full has the video component that's been zoomed out, and you notice I have my play and my pause buttons here. The play and pause buttons have interactions built onto them that actually allow me to control the playback of the video player component that's actually located here on the stage. If I go to my eat state, you'll see that the design time data has been designed so that the menu items use a different font, and I've imported specific graphics that I then have accessed inside the design time data panel. Each one of these graphics have been brought in as JPEG graphics that I actually imported in from Fireworks. Finally, on the welcome, I have an animation that I've created using an action sequence inside of Flash Catalyst. That action sequence just has a quick graphic that flies out, and then I have some text that fades in. Now we're ready to publish from Flash Catalyst. When you're publishing, there are a couple options that you need to consider. First, let's actually open up the publishing panel, and we can actually review what we have. When I publish to a SWF, there are a few options. First, I can build this for accessibility, taking advantage of any of the accessibility options that are part of Flash Player. When I publish this, if I know I'm going to be publishing us up to a web server, I want to make sure I have that option selected. If I'm going to run this on my local computer, or maybe this is a prototype that I'm heading off to a client or to someone else in my team to look at on their own computer, you want to make sure you can select Build Version to View Offline. The other option here is called Build Air Application, which will take our project and wrap it up in an Air application that I can then distribute to someone to install via the Air runtime. Finally, if I have any fonts that need to be embedded into the project, I need to click this box, and then I can optionally access any of the specifics of how I want to import those fonts using the Advanced button. So let me actually browse and actually go to my desktop and publish this out to my folder, and then click Publish. This particular project is publishing out in 3 different formats. A version that's going to be uploaded onto the web server, a version that's going to be on my local computer, and then also an Air application as well. We're going to walk through how it actually publishes in each one of these 3 formats so you're more familiar with how these are actually constructed. Great, so now my project is published. So let's open up the Finder window here, and I actually can take a look at what we have. When you publish from Flash Catalyst, it'll create 3 folders. And this is only if I'm using all 3 options. If you're using only a couple of these, then those folders will display only. In this case, I have Air, Deploy to Web, and then Run Local. Let's take a look at Deploy to Web first. When I publish a file in Flash Catalyst for upload to a web server, it's going to carefully create the file to optimize the file size. Aspects of the file that don't necessarily need to be part of the initial project file, or SWF, are going to be output as separate things. You'll also notice, if I make this window a little bit larger, it generates the HTML as well as the JavaScript that's part of how I load content inside of Flash Player. If people don't have Flash Player, this code also allows them to go to the Adobe website to download Flash Player and install it into their browser. Something else that Flash Catalyst does automatically is if I go into the Assets folder, I have this Media folder. Any videos that I'm using inside of Flash Catalyst are always published as external files. So if I want to ever swap these videos out or make sure that my project size is as small as possible, these videos are always published separately. So from here, I then now have an entire package that I can take up to my web server and then publish. Let's actually look at the other one, which is called Run Local. you'll notice that there are fewer files here. When I'm going to be looking at this on a local machine, I'm not as concerned about overall file size. So now if I want to take these files and share them with other people, it'll be easier to package and share over email or to post on a file server like Acrobat.com. The final option is the Air example. The Air package is just a single file. This is an installable file that you can use with the Air runtime. If I double-click this, you'll notice that it will initiate the Air application installer and then allow me to install the application. It will then run that application after it's done, and you'll see that now the entire application is executable as an Air application on my local desktop. So that covers all the ways that I can work with Flash Catalyst and then take my project, publish it, and how the actual published projects are optimized for the best experience when I look at these over the web. In the next video, we're going to take a look about how I can optimize my workflow if I'm working with Flash Catalyst in partnership with a developer. There are a couple of best practices we should take a look at in more detail to make sure that when I hand my project off to a developer, they'll be able to work with it quickly and easily.